Part A, the foster home. Three scientists, Papaia, Banani, and Ravioli, and their assistant Igor, who work at Nasal, start getting interested in creationism. Their superiors, worried, send them to a psychologist, Professor Fagioli, a questionable character determined to get them fired by making them look crazy. We are in Fagioli's office, where Papaia is undergoing a psychological evaluation. Fagioli, and you? What happened? Papaia, they put us in a foster home. Flashback. Foster home. Day. Social worker. This is the foster home. You'll all be comfortable here. It's a protected environment. A couple, the foster dad and foster mom, wait for them smiling. Foster dad, welcome. Foster mom, would you like a snack? Papaia looks at the house, which looks like a small prison with toys and bunk beds. Papaia. Ugh. A few hours later. The calm is broken by loud noises and slamming doors. Mino runs around, twirling a broomstick over his head. Mino, I'm Bruce Lee. No, better, a Power Ranger. The broom hits a small cabinet full of ceramic souvenirs, smashing them all on the floor. Foster mom, stop, Mino, you're breaking everything. Nino, who found a rubber ball, kicks it hard and hits the TV, which crashes noisily to the floor, breaking. Foster dad, oh no, the new TV. It was 33 inches. A firecracker explodes under the foster mom's feet. Boom! Foster mom, Mino, where did you get the firecrackers? Mino, secret ammo, ha 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 ha. The chaos continues. Foster dad, Papaia, do something. Papaia, am I going to be punished? Nino has gone to the kitchen. Nino, hey Mino, come see. We've never tried this. Minerva firecrackers on the lit stove. Mino, yeah, it goes boom. Foster mom, no, don't do it. Too late, the fuse is lit. Foster dad, everyone out now. Boom, darkness. End of flashback. Savedblog.com. Part B. Igor in the foster home. Igor. The first thing the foster mom asks the kids is if they want a snack. Here's the missing part where Mino answers, no thanks, we just had a snack. Can we go straight to destroying your house now? When Mino, thinking he's Bruce Lee dressed as a Power Ranger, destroys the souvenir cabinet in the living room, the foster mom tells him he's breaking everything. What does Mino reply then? Wrong. The house is still standing. Or, I'm not breaking everything, I'm just violently renovating. Bruce Lee inside me says it's time to change the furniture. When the foster dad sees the new TV shattered on the floor because of Nino's ball kick, the only thing he can say is, it was 33 inches. What else could he have said? Now the TV is ultra flat, just like my bank account. Goal? No, that was a counterattack. Congrats, Nino, you scored against technology. And with that, you're winning. Nino 1, TV 0. This is the first case in soccer history with a red card from the living room. You just won the lead ball award. If you wanted to change the channel, you just had to say so, Nino. It's official. The TV was too realistic. You really believed you were at the stadium. You know how it is. Some shots go straight to the heart and to my wallet. Imagine if this were a movie and there were subtitles too. Subtitles kindly provided by Goodbye TV Productions. Scenes shot by professionals. Don't try this in your living room. TV destroyed under safe conditions. No remote controls were harmed. Special effects by Nino's Ball. Coming soon to all broken screens. Sponsored by the Committee for the Art of Domestic Disaster. Technical supervision. Nino, master of the wrong shot. Filmed with zero budget and lots of recklessness. The foster dad asks Papaia to do something, and Papaia replies, am I going to be punished? In fact, when brothers cause trouble, for Papaia that was a conditioned reflex. Mino says, Minervas on the lit stove, and Nino replies, they go boom. Hard to say. They really had to try to find out. Mino and Nino were two little geniuses. Even if Papaia doesn't tell us, I'm pretty sure they became scientists too. The boom? Yes, Nino, one very well executed boom. They even heard it downtown. Savedblog.com, Part C. Mom gets out of jail. Fagioli's office. Fagioli. So, did you make it? Papaya. We did, just in time. But the foster dad, Fagioli. Terrible. It must have been scary. Papaya. In a way, we got used to it. Fagioli. I see. And how did it end? Flashback. Inside. Women's prison, early morning. The metal cell door opens with a sharp creak. The corridor light floods the small space. Guard Anna, sturdy and smiling, leans on the bars, holding a bunch of keys. Guard Anna, smiling. So, you managed to do 6 months without chasing anyone with a baton. I'm proud of you. Papaya's mom, with a satisfied smirk. Only because they confiscated my baton. They exchange a knowing look. The guard offers her hand. Guard Anna, if you ever pass by here, as a visitor this time, bring me one of your tarts. The lemon cream ones. Papaya's mom, you're the one who taught me how to make it, don't forget that. They hug briefly but sincerely. Outside prison gate a few minutes later, Papaya's mom steps out. The crisp morning air tousles her hair. She stops just past the gate, takes a deep breath, closes her eyes, then opens them and looks at the sky. Papaya's mom, voiceover. Nino, Mino, Chantilly, and little Papaya. I wonder what you've done this time. She smiles faintly, adjusts her shoulder bag and walks down the dirt road. Outside foster home garden, late afternoon. Papaya's mom walks down the path. The door still creaks like 6 months ago. Nothing has changed, yet everything has. She stops near the hydrangea bush, looks around carefully, then kneels and starts digging with her bare hands. The earth gives way quickly. After a few seconds, a black plastic bag emerges from the ground. She opens it. Inside, a baseball bat wrapped in a pink floral cloth. She pulls it out, grips it, weighs the handle. Her gaze hardens. Then she smiles. Papaya's mom, home, finally. The camera rises as she stands up, bat resting on her shoulder, and walks toward the house. Fade out. Igor, sorry. Wait a minute. So, Mino blows up the house, the foster dad dies trying to save them, and the only thing Papaya can say is, in a way, we got used to it. In which way? Are you telling me this happened more than once? Yeah, and how many have you taken out? Tell me you can still count them. Papaya's mom had a baton in jail, but they confiscated it. That's why she didn't use it for 6 months. A true case of sincere repentance. Mino commented, good thing Guard Anna taught Papaya's mom how to make a decent tart. At least next year, at my birthday, there'll be one dessert that doesn't burn my tongue or taste awful. Mom comes home and the first thing she does is dig up the bat hidden in the garden. Then she says, finally home. Are you telling me that to feel at home, Papaya's mom needs a baseball bat? And the neighbors were thinking she was looking for spare keys under a rock. Mrs. Papaya, just a baseball bat isn't enough to feel at home. Banani, oh no, what else do you need? Igor, you also need someone to hit with it. SavedBlog.com, Part D. Decaying magnetic field, ravioli. Are there other proofs? Paco, there is the Earth's magnetic field. Banani, what is it? Paco, the Earth is surrounded by a magnetic field that protects living beings from solar radiation. Without it, life couldn't exist. Ravioli. Okay, but what does that have to do with the Earth's age? Paco, scientists were surprised to discover that the field is deteriorating rapidly. Banani. Okay, I'm starting to understand. It's deteriorating way too fast. Paco, exactly. At the current rate, the field, and therefore the Earth, couldn't be more than 20,000 years old. SavedBlog.com, Part E. Who's ringing the doorbell? Fagioli's office, Papaya, and we went from house to house until my mom got out. And then the judge called us. Flashback. Interior living room of yet another foster home. Shouts, laughter, the unmistakable sound of an antique vase breaking. Nino is climbing a bookshelf. Mino jumps on the sofa holding a tennis racket. Chantilly is putting on makeup in the bathroom. Papaya sits in a corner, trying to do his homework. Nino, cheese puff bomb! He throws a cheese puff that splats against the wall, along with 10 others that were there. Suddenly, the doorbell dings. Silence. The three freeze like statues. Nino midair, Mino with one foot on the overturned table, Papaia holding his notebook, Chantilly with half her mouth made up. Caregiver. Here come the rescuers. Finally. Mino. Who rings at 4 in the afternoon? The door opens slowly. It's the social worker. Social worker, pack your thing. The caregiver wipes her forehead and sighs with relief. Nino. Level 7 complete. On to the next house. Social worker. No more houses for you. I'm taking you to the judge. Mino. To the judge? Papaia. Here we go. Now they're sending us to reform school. Chantilly. Oh no, what about my makeup? As they walk out onto the path, the social worker reassures them. Social worker. No, don't worry, they're not sending you there. Come in. Interior Social Services minivan shortly after. The 4 siblings sit in silence, each with a guilty and offended expression. Nino. At least we could have finished the TV throwing game. SavedBlog.com. Part F user comments. Igor. Nino and his cheese puff bomb. Always better than Nino's Minerva on the stove explosion. At least the only thing exploding here is a cheese puff on the wall. Mino asks, who rings at 4 in the afternoon? Let's guess. Here are some user suggestions. At Grandma with the Katana, it's the postman of emotions. Delivering trauma. At Take Me Away Sadness, it's the ghost of the broken TV. Rings to claim revenge. At Metal Sponge 78, obviously Chuck Norris looking for Bruce Lee, rings only to break down the door. At Little Butt Bad 92, it's the couch motivational coach, wants to know why it hasn't collapsed yet. At Banani Cousin, it's a scary clown asking to come in for just 1 minute. At Retired Gym Teacher, it's daylight saving time knocking to confuse you once again. At Hidden Cat 123, it's the pizza nobody ordered but everyone will eat. At Uncle Tony the Tractor, it's the mother from the previous foster home. Wants back the keys, the microwave, and her honor. SavedBlog.com, Part G. Measurements of decay. Waiting room. Ravioli. So, if the Earth were billions of years old, shouldn't we have no magnetic field left to protect us? Paco. Exactly. The magnetic field is slowly disappearing. Banani. How do they know that? Paco. Several measurements confirm it. Since measurements began in 1845, the total energy stored in the Earth's magnetic field has decreased at a rate of 5% per century. Archaeological measurements show the field was 40% stronger in the year 1000 AD, too. Recent data from the International Geomagnetic Reference Field, the most precise ever recorded, show a net energy loss of 1.4% in just 3 decades, 1970-2000. This means the field's energy halves, approximately every 1,465 years. Ravioli. So it's confirmed by measurements. And what do geologists say? Paco. Supporters of an old Earth claim the Earth is over 4.5 billion years old. So they believe the magnetic field must be self-sustaining. Banani. Self-sustaining? How? Paco. They propose a complex theoretical process called the dynamo model. But this model contradicts some fundamental laws of physics. Also, it cannot explain the modern electric current measured on the ocean floor, nor can it explain past magnetic field reversals despite computer simulations. To save the old Earth theory and the dynamo model, some have suggested the magnetic field decay is linear rather than exponential, despite historical measurements and decades of experiments confirming exponential decay. Others propose that the intensity of some components increases to compensate for the decay of others. This claim arises from confusion between the magnetic field's intensity and its energy and has been categorically refuted by creationist physicists. Oh, Ravioli. You said electric current on the ocean floor? Paco. Yes. Creationists have proposed that the Earth's magnetic field is caused by a freely decaying electric current in the Earth's core. Banani, what does that mean? Paco, it means the electric current naturally loses energy or decays as it flows through the metallic core. Ravioli, ah yes, the Earth's core, which is made of liquid metal. Paco, although different from the commonly accepted conventional model, this is consistent with our knowledge of the Earth's core composition. Banani, and when would this current have started? Paco, good question. Based on what we know about the conductive properties of liquid iron, this freely decaying current would have begun when the Earth's outer core formed. Ravioli, however, if the core were older than 20,000 years, the initial energy would have made the Earth too hot to be covered with water. Paco, just as Genesis 1. 2 reveals. Where it says the Earth was formless and empty, savedblog.com. Part H, Igor and Nino's video game. Nino thought he was in a video game where, to level up, you have to destroy a foster home. What was the title? Family Crashers, Inheritance Edition? And the commercial? Igor shows the phone to the camera. Zoom in. Opening shot of a gray building with a rusty plaque. Family Home Re-Education Section 7. Deep, dramatic voice. It used to be a refuge. Now it's a war zone. Mino, wearing a headband, yells, "This is my dojo now," and kicks a cabinet. Nino throws a soccer ball at the new TV. A shower of glass explodes. The caretaker, voice cracking, cries, "It was 33 inches, and we'd only had it 2 days." In a juvenile care center, where respect moved out long ago, comes the game no one asked for. The logo appears. Family Crashers Inheritance Edition, with sirens and screaming chickens in the background. Smash the furniture, dodge the lectures, and face your trauma with the only tool you've got, violent distraction. Chantilly throws a 12-inch heel at a glass case, shouting, "I don't adapt to this foster home. I revolutionize it." Papaia stares into space as a rain of plates crashes behind him. I'll be bringing this up in my next session with Fagioli. Get the deluxe pack now, with the Galactic Air Fryer and Domestic Invisibility Gloves trademark. Just $12 and you can stop taking responsibility. From the wrecked TV, an automatic video call from Papaia's mom in jail starts. Kids, just don't blow up the bathroom too. Family Crashers, Inheritance Edition. If you can't have a real home, at least you can destroy a fake one. Available on console 8000. Recommended age, only if your caretaker signed the form without reading it. Savedblog.com, Part 1. Return to sender, interior juvenile courtroom. Half an hour later, the three stand before the judge's bench. Judge, elderly but sharp, observes them with an expression somewhere between curiosity and disbelief. Judge, well, I've thought it over. It's clear you're unmanageable, impossible, and frankly, fascinating in your destruction. Pause. Luckily, there is one person in the world capable of containing you. He gives them a piercing look. Judge, if you agree, I've decided to return you to sender. The three look at each other. Then they all nod at once, fast. All, yes. The courtroom doors creak open. Papaia's mom enters, elegant and smiling. Papaia's mom, there you are, my little creative geniuses. The three run toward her and hug her full force, nearly knocking her over. Papaia, Mom, Nino, we missed you. The judge smiles. The social worker breathes a sigh of relief. Papaia's mom hugs her children tight, then raises her voice. Papaia's mom, now home. And heaven help the next one who touches another vase. Savedblog.com. Part J. Helium and the radioactive rocks. Waiting room, ravioli. What else is there? Paco. There's helium in radioactive rocks. Banani. What's that about? Paco. During the radioactive decay of uranium and thorium in rocks, a lot of helium is produced. Ravioli. Helium? Isn't that what's in balloons? Banani. Yeah, last year I tried to build a blimp with it. Paco. Exactly. Helium is the second lightest element, and it's a noble gas, meaning it doesn't bond with other atoms. That's why it tends to spread out easily, escape, and eventually dissipate into the atmosphere. Banani. Just like in balloons. Paco. Yes, Banani. Helium diffuses so quickly that all of it should have escaped in less than 100,000 years. Ravioli. Then why are these rocks still full of helium atoms? Part K. Igor. Comments on the verdict. Igor. When the judge sees the 4 Papaia siblings, he says, "It's clear that you're unmanageable, impossible, and frankly, fascinating in your devastation." So the judge was fascinated by their devastation. Maybe as a kid, he had tried to smash a cabinet or some expensive piece of furniture himself, but didn't quite pull it off. We enter a flashback imagined by Igor. Into young judge's parents' house day, 1980s. A flawless bourgeois living room, straight out of the 80s. Silence. A clock ticks. On top of an olive green carpet, an 8-year-old boy, tidy and serious, stares at a glass cabinet with the focused gaze of someone on a mission. It's the future judge, but today he's just a kid, surrounded by too many rules and a blurry desire to rebel. Boy, quietly. Today I'm doing it. No one can stop me. Not even Grandma. He grabs a small croquet mallet. Hesitates, lifts his arms, swings, clink. The cabinet wobbles but doesn't break. Boy, more determined. You can't be indestructible forever. Another strike, this time a door cracks. The boy smiles, triumphant. He grabs the handle with both hands and pulls hard. The glass shatters. Crash! Shards fly everywhere. The boy screams he's cut his hand. Igor, voiceover. Or maybe he did manage it and got hurt. Boy, crying, panicked. It's art? Mother's voice, off screen. Oh my goodness, Mario, what did you do? Igor, voiceover. And maybe they rushed him to the emergency room. Into emergency room, shortly after. The boy sits on a gurney with a clumsy bandage while a doctor looks at him, shaking her head. Doctor, so, you wanted to destroy furniture as a form of self-expression? Boy, serious. I thought it would feel liberating, like in the movies. Doctor, dryly. In movies, people don't usually end up with stitches and glass in their pajamas. Igor, voiceover. And maybe he got scared and swore never to do it again. Mother, Mario, were you scared? Boy, yes, a lot. Mother, promise me you'll never do anything like that again. Boy, I promise, I really promise. SavedBlog.com, Part L. Chantilly goes viral. Igor is imagining an alternate story with the judge and the 4 Papaia siblings. Igor, voiceover. Imagine if someone had filmed the kids at work. Int. Family living room afternoon. The living room is a disaster zone. Pieces of a cabinet are scattered across the carpet. A cushion smolders gently. Mino is still yelling, "Kya!" as he somersaults over a destroyed couch. Nino practices kicking soccer balls at a chandelier that long gave up its purpose. Chantilly stands amid the wreckage, fixing her hair. She's holding her phone. Front camera on. She doesn't look fazed. She smiles, perfectly calm. Chantilly, to the camera. Hey followers, today we're giving our vintage living room a little makeover. Let me know if you prefer elegant destruction or post-apocalyptic chic. She turns, revealing the wreckage. Behind her, a vase slowly rolls and shatters. Chantilly, without turning around. That one was vintage, I think. But I don't live in the past. Igor, voiceover. And maybe she posted it on social media. Next. A few hours later. On a phone screen, notifications exploding. Genius. Conceptual art. This girl just redefined home decor. Where can I get that burning rug? View count, 3.7 million and rising. Igor, voiceover. And it went viral. Inti. Kitchen. Minutes later, Mino stares at Chantilly's phone, eyes wide. Mino, wait, we're famous? Chantilly, without looking up. I am. Nino, biting into a whole apple, skin and all. But we wrecked everything. Chantilly, bored. Yeah, but I wrote the caption. Igor, voiceover. Just imagine their caretaker watching the video. Inte, caretaker's room, same time. The caretaker watches the video on an old tablet. His hands tremble. He slowly opens the drawer where he keeps his anxiety pills. Takes 2, then 5. Caretaker, sighing. We're trending again. SavedBlog.com, Part M, helium found during drilling, ravioli. And how do they know about the helium? Paco, during the drilling of Precambrian granite rocks, pre-flood in New Mexico, geologists extracted zircon crystal samples, zirconium silicate, from various depths. The crystals contained not only uranium, but also large amounts of helium. Banani, the hotter the rocks, the faster the helium should escape. Ravioli, and the deeper you go, the hotter the rocks get. Paco, exactly. And that's why the researchers were surprised to find that the deeper, hotter zircons, at 387 degrees Fahrenheit, or 197 degrees Celsius, contain much more helium than expected. Banani, really? How much? Paco, up to 58% of the helium that the uranium could have generated was still present in the crystals. SavedBlog.com, Part N, Dest Royale. Igor is imagining an alternate story with the judge and the 4 Papaia siblings. Igor, and what if they had even given themselves a stage name? Into kitchen. The 4 siblings are having dinner while their video plays on the news. Papaia, looks like we made it big. Mino, we need a name, for our group. Nino, how about the Couch Bruce Lee's? Chantilly, awful, I've got the name. We'll be called Dest Royale. Papaia, Dest Royale, I like it. Mino, okay, I'm in. Nino, deal. The phone rings. Caretaker from another room. Chantilly, it's the newspapers. What do I say? Igor. And what if a fan club had been born? Inti, living room in a random house, night, months later. A group of teenagers is crammed on a couch, surrounded by chips, soda cans, and a projector hooked up to YouTube. On screen, a wild compilation of Dest Royale videos. Nino smashing a door with a bicycle wheel. Mino destroying a cabinet with karate chops, shouting, "It's conceptual art." Chantilly giving glam influencer commentary while things burn behind her. Girl in fluorescent shirt, excited. Chantilly is like the Frida Kahlo of destruction, but in heels. Boy with plastic bracelets, moved. The way Papaia stares into the void. It holds the pain of a badly assembled IKEA shelf. Another boy, grabbing phone. We need to start a fan club, now. Let's call it Anonymous Smashers? No, too sad. Girl, thrilled. Dest Royal Global, with the Y and the hyphen just like them. Let's organize the first meetup. My uncle works at a hotel. Igor, like t-shirts, sign-ups, conventions. In T, conference room 3-star hotel day. A huge room with makeshift stage. Badly printed banners, Dest Royale, break to understand, balloon chairs twisted into broken shapes, kids wearing headbands like Mino. The first annual Dest Royale fan club meeting is in full swing. Fans wear t-shirts with famous quotes. It was 33 inches. I'm not breaking it, I'm freeing it. This house doesn't contain me. Thunderous applause as the crew steps on stage. Chantilly, flawless as always. Thank you. You're not just fans, you're certified emotional destroyers. Mino, raising a tiny plastic hammer. To anyone scared of breaking something, I say, break more. Papaia, deadpan. I just said I needed a pillow. Now I'm signing autographs. Nino, taking selfies with everyone. Pose with me, but make your face like an explosion. The group signs slippers, game controllers, wooden scraps, even a table leg. A grandma takes a picture with the team and asks Papaia to symbolically smash her old lamp to let go of the past. SavedBlog.com. Part O. The judge, their fan. Igor is imagining an alternate story with the judge and the 4 Papaia siblings. Igor, voiceover. And what if the judge had seen the video? Int bedroom, late night. The room is dark, lit only by the bluish glow of a tablet. The judge is in bed, wearing fancy pajamas, holding a cup of chamomile tea, with a soothing gel mask on his forehead. Total silence except for a click. Effects. Click. The video starts on YouTube. On the tablet screen, a destroyed living room. Mino yelling, "Kya!" Nino throwing things, a vase exploding. Chantilly smiles into the camera with flames behind her. Chantilly, in the video. Tell me if you prefer elegantly destroyed or post-apocalyptic chic. The judge remains still. Then, a faint smile, eyes glistening. Judge, whispering. Brilliant. Igor voiceover. And what if he became their fan too? He scrolls through the comments, reads them one by one, then opens a playlist titled The Original Wreckers, Igor, voiceover. And what if he went into his garage at night when no one could see him to destroy some fine furniture? Into his judge's garage. Moments later, flickering light. The judge is wearing work gloves over his pajamas and a construction helmet. In front of him, an expensive mahogany bookshelf. Judge, very serious. Art can only be understood by living it. He picks up a sledgehammer. A solemn pause, then SFX, boom, crash. Savedblog.com, Part P. Fast helium. Waiting room. Ravioli. Couldn't it just be a miscalculation of the helium release rate? Paco. The rate at which helium escapes has been determined in multiple experiments. All the measurements agree. Helium diffuses so quickly that all the helium in those zircon crystals should have leaked out in less than 100,000 years. A banana. So the fact that so much of it is still there means they can't be 1.5 billion years old, like the uranium-lead dating suggests. Paco. Exactly. In fact, using the measured diffusion rate of helium, these pre-flood rocks have an average diffusion age of only 6,000, 2,000 years. Savedblog.com.